You are listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report's Daily Report, podcast number 239.1, our daily update on high school, college, and professional sports news in Central Indiana, with a little bit of major national sports news, anything that may be of interest to Central Indiana sports fans every weekday at 1 p.m.
You're listening to the Central Indiana Sports Report with your host, Greg Mengels.
Good morning, good afternoon, or good evening, whenever you've chosen to listen to the Central Indiana Sports Report. We love it that you've chosen to spend part of your day with us. Today is April 18th, 2025. It's a Friday, so it's another day for the Central Indiana Sports Report. I'm your host, Greg Mengelt. I love Central Indiana sports. Coming to you today from Madison Grant High School. Producer Susie is in the control room at headquarters in Jeffersonville. Coming up, we have lots of high school baseball, softball, and tennis results, including the Madison County Tournament semifinals, plus some track and field and golf, and all the changes to the schedule with the bad weather approaching. A little bit of NBA news, and a look ahead to Friday's schedule highlights. Before all that, do us a huge favor and go to YouTube and subscribe to our YouTube page so you don't miss a single segment. Just search Central Indiana Sports Report. We are easy to find. Also, earlier Friday, we released our Pacers-Bucks NBA playoffs first round preview, and later Friday, we will release our first round prediction podcast. We had the entire crew there on Wednesday night. Michelle Garman, Grant Schaus, Will Rutherford, and Mike Rich for both of those podcasts, and things got a little bit passionate. Also, earlier Friday, we recapped Thursday's Madison County baseball, softball, and tennis results, and looked ahead to this weekend's championships with Rob Hunt of the Herald Bulletin on this week's Madison County Sports Report. That is podcast number 238.2. Please go check out all of those. Coming up this weekend, we will have our MLB report with Uncle Paul and continued coverage of high school sports, including the track and field report from Friday's Madison County meet at Madison Grant. We got plenty for everybody. No reason not to subscribe. Shams Charania tweeted Thursday that Damian Lillard is expected to play for the Milwaukee Bucks in the series against the Pacers after it was discovered that he did not have a blood clot or deep vein thrombosis. He will miss Game 1 Saturday and is questionable for Game 2 in Indy, but is expected to return when the series goes to Milwaukee. Saturday's game is scheduled for a 1 p.m. tip at the Fieldhouse in Indianapolis. The play-in games conclude Friday and will determine the 8th seed in each conference. It's Miami and Atlanta at 7 on TNT, followed by Dallas at Memphis on ESPN. The Hawks Heat winner will get the East top seed Cleveland in the first round, and the Mavs Grizz winner gets OKC, the top seed in the West. We move to high school baseball, where LaPel scored twice in the 6th and the 7th innings to pull away from Alexandria and advance to the Nick Mueller Tournament Championship game which has been moved to May 2nd. Hogan Bear led the offense with a couple of hits, 2 runs scored, and an RBI. Alexander will play Anderson in the third place game. That is Friday night at Anderson at 7 o'clock. 7-0 Pendleton Heights broke a 9-9 tie with 4 runs in the bottom of the 6th and a 13-9 victory over Anderson to secure its place in the Nick Mueller Championship. Colin Axel Adams continues to rake. He had another huge night with a double, a triple, and a home run. 3 runs scored and 3 RBIs, and also picked up the save by striking out 3 Indians in the 7th. Isaac McKenzie went 2 for 4 with a home run for 2 and 3 Anderson. Frankton had 14 hits and won its first game of the season, 16-1 over Anderson Prep. Sean Jarrett, Brady Carmack, and Jarrett Morris each had 2 hits. Jarrett and Morris both drove in 2 runs, and Carmack had a double. It will be a regional rematch for 5th place in the Madison County Tournament Friday when the Eagles go to Madison Grant. The Argyles beat Liberty Christian 16-2 Thursday. 10 different Argyles drove in runs, and 14 different Argyles scored in the win. Eastern is 6-2 after beating Tipton 13-1. Aiden Gibson had the lone hit for the 1-7 Blue Devils. Carter Doherty allowed just 2 hits and struck out 11 in his shutout performance. in Eastbrook's 13-0 win over Northfield. He also hit a home run and drove in 4. Will Hodson homered and drove in 5 for the Panthers. Northwestern scored 10 times in the first 3 innings and beat Oak Hill 14-2 in 6. Hayden Cook went 2 for 3 with a home run, a run scored, and 2 RBIs for the 7-1 Tigers. Chase DeWitt and Carson Griggs allowed just 3 hits to Oak Hill. Muncie Central picked up its first win of the year, beating Blackford 8-4 Thursday. Campbell Logan homered, and Javion Cole Westbrook had 2 hits and 2 RBIs in the win. Yorktown scored 4 times in the first and 5 in the 7th for all 9 of their runs in a 9-6 win over Jay County. Ryan Burkholder led the Tigers with a home run, 3 RBIs, and a couple of runs scored. The Tigers are now 4-3. Western jumped out to an 8-0 lead and beat Maconaquah 8-3 Thursday. Braden Miller and Kyler Norman had 2 hits apiece, and Levi Shoemaker 2 RBIs for the 8-1 Panthers. Sheridan scored twice in the 6th and beat Western Boone 8-7. Jacob Hall and Dane Vogue both had singles and doubles, drove in a run, and scored a run for the 2-4 Blackhawks. Wabahani is 2-0 in the Mid-Eastern Conference after a 10-2 win over Eastern Hancock. The Raiders jumped out to a 4-0 lead after 1 on Quentin James and Eli Andrews RBIs and a 2-run Royals error. Wapahani finished with 14 hits. James, Andrews, Hayden James, Noah Henderson each had 2 hits. James and Andrews both drove in 2 runs. Tyler Summers doubled, homered, and drove in 5 runs in West-El's 12-2 6-inning win over Randolph Southern. Carter Flynn gave up just 3 hits in his 6 innings for the 3-4 Warriors. Shenandoah is 5-1 after beating Cowan in an MEC contest Thursday. At Cowan, the Raiders broke a 2-2 tie with 4 runs in the 5th and scored 5 more times in the 6th. All-state performer Chase Ozenbaugh was 3 for 4 with a double and 4 RBIs in the win. Daleville took its second straight MEC loss, 15-0 to Monroe Central. Logan Walker was 3 for 4 with a double, a home run, and 4 RBIs, and Caleb Ludicky threw a 3-hit shutout for the Golden Bears. Cam Rady allowed just 2 hits and shut out Burris in University's 10-0 win. Dane Adams and Sungwoo Moon each had a single for the 1-6 Owls. Eastern announced that its game against Northfield, originally scheduled for Saturday, has been moved up a day to 5 o'clock Friday. Some other local scores of interest. Fishers beat Noblesville 4-2. It was Zionsville 5, Hamilton Southeastern 1. Westfield over Brownsburg 10-7. Carmel 13, Lawrence North 6. Clinton Prairie got past Danville 3-2. Delphi scored 19 runs in a 19-9 win over Rensselaer. Rochester defeated Pioneer 10-2. Wabash 7, Caston 4. Harrison blanked West Lafayette 11-0, and Knightstown blanked Newcastle 9-0. We move to softball, where rivals Alexandria and Frankton will play for the Madison County Championship after Alexandria upset and avenged the Lapel Bulldogs and Frankton beat Anderson 10-0. Neither team has ever won a county championship. The game is scheduled for 5:30 at Frankton, following the consolation game between Anderson and Lapel. Brindley Humphreys allowed just 1 run on 4 hits and struck out 13 Bulldogs, and Kinley Webb had a 2-run homer in Alexandria's 5-1 upset of Lapel, which eliminated Alexandria from the postseason last year. Zoe Kopis threw a complete game shutout and struck out 13, and also homered in Frankton's 10-0 win over Anderson. Allie Smith also hit a home run, and Ava Stanley had a pair of doubles for the 4-1 Eagles. Madison Grant scored 7 times in the first and led Elwood 15-0 after 3 innings in a 20-7 win over the Panthers in the consolation bracket. Carly Holiday went 3 for 4 with 4 runs and 2 RBIs. Olivia Dunham had a double and scored 3 times, and Grace Wood scored 3 runs and stole a base for 4 and 2 Madison Grant. Addie Stout, Kelsey Arms, and Journey Crawford each had 2 RBIs for 1 and 3 Elwood. Pendleton Heights is 4-4 after blanking Liberty Christian 11-0. The Arabians scored 5 times in the first and second innings. Brindley Holden and Cassie Hayes combined on the 1-hit shutout, and Hayes was 2 for 3 with 2 runs and 2 RBIs. Layla Keith and Emily Marzewski had RBI doubles in the bottom of the 6th, and Tri-Central came from behind to beat rival Tipton 10-0. Claire Conrad went 3 for 4 and scored 3 times. Chastity Keelish drove in 4 of Tipton's 10 runs. Gracie Elliott had another big game. She homered twice and had a triple, scored 4 times and drove in 5, and Eastbrook blew past Southern Wells 15-1. Braylee McNutt also had a home run and 4 RBIs for the Panthers. Oak Hill scored 4 times in the 7th and overcame Maconaquah 10-8. The big blow in the inning was Maddie Archer's 2 RBI single that gave Oak Hill the lead for good. Jolie Hawkins went 3 for 4 with 4 RBIs and crossed the plate 3 times for the 3-2 Golden Eagles. 10 different Mississinawa batters had multiple hits, and the Indians beat Northfield 19-0. Brooklyn Nash had 3 hits. Jenna Kaus had a single, a double, and 3 RBIs. And Kaus, Ali Trejo, Jaylee Miller, and Amaya Parr-Inman all drove in 3 runs. Blackford overcame an 11-2 deficit to improve to 2-2 with a 14-11 win over Eastern. Marley Cone was 2 for 4 with a double, 2 runs, and an RBI for the Comets. Cameron Roten and Lily Cash both drove in 4 runs and both scored twice in Hamilton Heights' 16-4 win over Sheridan. Roten homered and Cash doubled and tripled in the win. Abby Dallas was 2 for 3 for the Blackhawks. Number 1 Western rebounded from its first loss of the season by beating number 7 Yorktown 11-6. Abby Boer had 4 hits and Olivia Jerriman drove in 5 runs with a pair of home runs for 3-1 Yorktown. Kokomo is 5-2 after Thursday's 19-12 win over Caston. The Wildcats trailed 6-3 before scoring 16 times over the final 3 frames. Kokomo had 6 home runs in the win, 2 from Lanai Buckner. Kinley Martin was 3 for 4 with a double, a home run, 3 RBIs, and 3 runs scored. 4-1 Centerville scored 8 times in the first and beat Delta 13-2. Lily Day drove in 4 runs with 2 doubles for the Bulldogs, and Caden Freiberger went 3 for 3 for 2 and 5 Delta. Presley Durr and Bailey West were both 3 for 3 with a home run in West Dell's 16-1 win over Randolph Southern. Durr tripled, homered, and drove in 6 runs for the 4 and 3 Warriors. Daleville scored 10 times in the 4th and beat Monroe Central 19-9 Thursday. Emily Simmons went 3 for 4 with a double, a triple, 3 runs, and 3 RBIs. She also had an RBI double and sacrifice fly RBI, both in the key 4th inning. Reagan Jackson was 4 for 4 and scored 3 times, and Valen Pattengale was 3 for 4 and scored 4 times. Shenandoah beat Cowan 12-1 Thursday with 17 hits and a strong pitching performance from Olivia Watson. Taylor Young had 2 hits and scored the run for the 2-5 Blackhawks. And Eastern Hancock beat Wapahani 18-0. It was Fisher 6, Harrison 4. New Pal beat Hamilton Southeastern 12-1. Zionsville 7, McCutcheon 2. West Lafayette beat Clinton Central 27-11. Logansport beat Jeff 5-0. Bethesda Christian 8, Clinton Prairie 4. Delphi 8, Pioneer 6. Carroll got by Frontier 19-7. North Miami beat Rochester 9-5. And Tri-County beat Rossville, and Center Grove beat Brownsburg, both 7-6. In girls tennis, it'll be 6-time defending Madison County champion Alexandria against LaPel in Friday's Madison County Championship at LaPel. Alexandria beat Pendleton Heights 4-0. Avery Cuneo and Fady Bridwell won for the Tigers, as did both doubles teams. The number 2 singles match was rained out. Mississinawa beat Yorktown 3-1. The 5th match at number 3 singles was tied at 4-4 in the 3rd set when it was called due to rain. Winning for the Indians was Avery Wilson and both doubles teams. Marion beat Southwood 4-1 to improve to 4-2 on the season. All 4 Marion wins from Shaylee Castaneda, Ava Maroney, and Raven Ray, and the doubles teams of Nyla Hubert and Abby Dow all won in straight sets. Also, number 5 Zionsville beat Noblesville 4-1. Eastern's and Northwestern showdown Thursday was rained out after play had begun. Eastern scored the lone point with Julia Salkey's and Reagan Princell's 6-4, 6-0 win at number 1 doubles. Mississinawa won Thursday's Eastbrook Invitational on the track. Champions for the Indians were Kyler North in the 800, 1600, and 3200. That's 3.5 miles of winning. William Kaus won the shot put and the discus, and Dylan Davis won the 400. Day Davis, Carson Moracle, Carson Bauer, and Dylan Davis won the 4x400 relay. Champions for Eastbrook were Colin Reyes in the 100, Damian Blevins in the 200, Connor Poe in the 300 hurdles, Gary Cook in the high jump. The Panthers also won the 4x100 relay with Blevins, Cook, Reyes, and Siren Moschberger. Eastbrook edged Southwood by 2 points to win the girls' title. Elena Bruckner is the 1600 and 3200 champion. Mia Bustos won the shot put and discus, and Anna Olsen won the 100 hurdles for Eastbrook. Sailor Simmons won the 100 and 200 for third place Mrs. Sinowal. Yorktown swept a boys-girls three-way meet against Delta and Jay County. The Tigers beat Delta by 17 points and Jay County by 35 in the boys' race. And the Tigers girls beat Jay County by 18 and Delta by 28. Annalyn Hymas won the 100 and 300 hurdles. Casey Gifford won the 800 and was part of 2 winning relay teams. Yorktown's boys swept the relays and won 3 of the 5 field events. And Cal Sheneda won the 3200. To boys golf, Oak Hill edged Tipton in a three-way meet Thursday at Arbor Trace. Trent Nelson's round of 37 won medalist honors. Also for the Golden Eagles, Carson Hess shot a 41, Corbin Daly a 45, Otto Nero a 47, and Fenway Miller a 51. Number 3, Noblesville defeated Pendleton Heights by just 3 strokes Thursday, 153 to 156. Drew Workley, Drew Decker, and Tyler Marucci all shot 37s for the Millers. Westfield remains number 1 in the latest boys golf coaches poll, ahead of county rivals Guerin Catholic and Noblesville, and conference rivals Zionsville. Carmel 6th, Hamilton Southeastern 7th. Pendleton Heights is up to number 12. In college baseball, 10th ranked Taylor swept rival Indiana Wesleyan to secure the program's 3rd straight Crossroads League regular season championship. The Trojans are now 35-8 overall and 26-4 in the conference. Caleb Colpine went 6 for 8 on the day with 6 RBIs and 5 runs, and now has 301 career hits, becoming the first Taylor player ever to cross the 300 hit plateau. Indiana Wesleyan is 23-14. The Trojans and Wildcats play 2 more Saturday, beginning at 1. Alex Ricker homered to lead off the game, but Bowling Green won the series opener by beating Ball State 6-4. Game 2 of the series is Friday at 1. In college softball, Indiana Wesleyan beat St. Francis twice and now stands atop the Crossroads standings, a game ahead of Friday's opener against Marion, which begins at 1. The Wildcats beat St. Francis 9-7 and 11-5 Thursday. Morgan Yeater went 6 for 9 and scored 4 times. She also drove in 3 runs and had a couple of stolen bases on the day. Taylor had a couple of 5-inning wins in a home doubleheader against Grace Thursday, 12-4 and 10-1. And now you know everything we know about Central Indiana sports. Thank you for listening. If you'd like to see the Central Indiana Sports Report continue to grow and thrive, please share these podcasts with your friends and family. We humbly thank you in advance. Central Indiana Sports Report is a product of ITG Media. And I love Susie.